Hello, welcome to Serious About Law, a periodic podcast that features serious conversations about law, legal education, and legal practice, hosted by me, Merritt McAlister, the Dean of the University of Florida Levin College of Law. We try to have these conversations while being serious about what we're talking about, but not taking ourselves too seriously in the process, and focusing on things that might matter to our community of future Gator lawyers, current Gator lawyers, honorary Gator lawyers, thinking about what's happening in legal education and legal practice around the globe, with a special tie-in to the University of Florida Levin College of Law and who is visiting our campus. Today, I'm thrilled to have with me two of our current first-year students. You are our first student guests, Josh Zimerman and Yael Szanzer, who are in the 1L class and both from New York. So they are both out-of-state students, and they also happen to be married to one another, which is an important fact because right now in our really wonderful podcast studio, we do not have two microphones for guests, so they have to share a microphone, and so a married couple seems like a better choice so that you can be close to the microphone. So Josh and Yael, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We're really glad to have you. Tell me a little bit about how the University of Florida got on your radar. You did not go here undergrad, right?
No. So we actually went to undergrad together. That's where we met. We went to Baruch College in Manhattan.
Did you know each other before Baruch?
No, we met in class. So
what class?
Finance?
One of the finance ones.
I feel like you should agree on that, right?
Yeah, no, it was finance.
It was finance, but we can't tell you which one.
Okay.
We were finance majors, so we took so many finance classes.
So it's not that it wasn't love at first sight. It was just that, there were so many finance classes. All right, good. Okay, so you met in a finance class at Baruch. Go from there.
So we both had separate aspirations to go into law. Yael's father is actually an attorney, and I actually just wanted to become a lawyer. So we both met while we were planning our paths, and we were, as things got more serious over time, we're studying for our LSATs, and we came to the realization that if you split up for law school, it's tough to do.
Yeah.
So we were looking around at options we could both go together. And any prestigious law school in the country, it's really hard to get one person in there. So getting two people in there was a challenge. So we looked around at ideal options. All around the country. In New York, we looked in Boston, we looked in DC, and we looked at Florida. And
how did Florida get on the radar? Were you like, okay, we're tired of these awful winters and want to be in a place that's warm and sunny and has palm trees for law school?
Well, it's easier to count that in. It was kind of in the back of our minds, but you actually don't realize how much better of a life it is in the sun until you're here.
Because Boston's not a very sunny place to go to school.
I think it's just as bad as New York weather-wise.
Yeah.
So we were looking around and we were looking at schools with two law students going to school. Debt accounts for quite a lot.
Sure. Especially, did you have plans to get married at that time?
No, not
you hadn't popped the question.
This is a cool story. So we hadn't popped the question, but we had plans to get married eventually.
Okay.
And then, so we both got into University of Florida, which was ideal. And once we ran a few numbers, even as out-of-state students, we compared it to some of the other schools we got into, and it just wasn't comparable. So that's
I'm glad to hear that. Although obviously we think that, UF should always be at the top of anyone's list. Do you mind sharing what other schools you were looking at the time? Yeah.
So we were looking at a lot of New York schools. We weren't sure exactly where we wanted to live when we finished law school. So New York was where we were both from, and that was familiar. So we figured maybe we would go back to New York. So that's why we looked at you were looking at NYU, Columbia, Fordham. I was looking also at Cardozo, and then Brooklyn Law School, a lot of the local law schools in New York. And then we both have visited Florida a lot, mostly the South Florida area. So we decided let's look at UMiami. We looked at UF. But something that was important to us was going to a top law school, and Florida's numbers are great. So that's was a top choice for us.
Okay. So UF gets on your radar because Florida is a great place to live. It's affordable. You might have had some apprehensions, right? You're from the New York area. Sometimes people think that New York is the entire universe, right? And that's all you know. What were your worries at that time? Because I imagine there'll be students listening who might be in your boat that have some concerns, like, is Florida backwoods? Is it too hot? All those kinds of things.
Well, it's funny. Some of the just chaos, I guess, you get in New York. You're used to a certain speed, a certain lifestyle, a certain level of whatever it is they have there, big city life. And you're giving that up to come to Gainesville. But, with that, you gained a lot more. One of the decisions that went into this is law school is a time where you really need to focus on your studies. You don't want outside distractions. You're not going out every night to go to a club or a nice New York restaurant for dinner? Well, if you're looking for a law school that offers that, we still have Gainesville. We still have downtown.
Fair enough. And there's still fun.
And there are still people who do that. There's still people who, go out more often than we do. We're pretty boring these days. But you definitely have the options to do everything. Just, one of the options you have here exclusively is being quiet, enjoy, nature. A lot of those more calming activities are a really good opportunity Gainesville offers.
I know you said you're boring. What do you do for fun?
What do we do for fun? Well, honestly, we study a lot. We don't have that much fun.
But law school is fun. I think studying can be very fun. But I'm obviously a nerd. No.
We go to the gym every day.
Okay.
So every single day we go to the gym.
Which gym? Do you use a
Southwest.
UF?
It's the best one out there.
We love the Southwest gym.
Okay.
And it's like, speaking about another thing that we wouldn't get at another law firm, like the UF facilities, they're huge. We don't have to pay for a membership or anything like that. It comes with just going to the school. And one of our favorite things to do is work out. So getting to use the gym here is awesome. We do that every day.
We love alligators. We're in New York. We've never actually seen those.
Yeah. Do you like to pet them, eat
Josh
them?
Tries to get as close to them as possible. We have a sign right outside of our apartment that says beware of alligators. And the second Josh saw that when we moved in, he was by the ponds already looking for them. So
I know we're in law. We're law students. We're not going to self-incriminate myself, but if there was an alligator looking for a house, we have an extra room. We'd be more than excited to take them in.
All right. I fear we're going to scare some students that there are somehow alligators milling about everywhere in Gainesville. It's not true.
No. So we go to speaking about some of our hobbies, we were told coming in, this is the place for hiking, outdoors. So is it called Sweetwater? That was one of the outdoor parks that are totally free we went to, and just gorgeous and just, as I said, calming, relaxing. It was a really cool opportunity. And if you have any other options or any recommendations, we'd love more.
Sure. So there's Sweetwater, which is a great one. You've gone down to Paynes Prairie. Have you been to Paynes Prairie?
No.
Okay. Paynes Prairie is just a little further south, past Sweetwater off of 441. It's a great park. Also opportunities to see alligator, but also wild buffalo are there. There's horses. It's beautiful. Lots of good hiking. So you can spot some alligator. I'm curious, how many alligators have you seen since you've been here?
I think we were playing a game at Sweetwater. I found most of them. Yeah, I was not very good at finding them.
I found some.
I don't know about that. But she finds them after I find them. And, says, I saw it first.
Yeah.
But we live right near here in the Wynwood, and we have a nice pond by us, and one lives there exclusively.
Do you feed it?
No, I wish,
good.
but we're
You're
not
supposed
allowed.
to. Yeah, good. Don't feed the alligators.
No, but we see one every day. I make sure he or she is there every single day I step outside.
Have you named it?
This is a big problem.
I call her Allie.
Okay.
And I think it's what's What's the name?
Sia?
Yeah, Sia. No, the opposite.
Oh.
I call it Allie. She's taking my name because I have a better name.
I was literally just thinking that when I said it, I'm like, wait, you call her Allie the alligator. But I say Sia, like see you later, alligator.
Oh, I get that. I get that. And for the record, the official mascot is Albert and Alberta. So you could also use Albert or Alberta, depending on the, whether you think the gender is male or female. But I like that. Sia or Allie. Okay. So other than the opportunity to spend time with alligators, that's sort of an attractive thing about UF. And again, just as a public service announcement, no real danger is implied by that. What drew you to UF? It sounds like you knew Florida some, you'd visited. Josh, I know that you and I met for the first time at an admitted student day. What sort of sealed the deal for you, and what were your factors in deciding to enroll here?
I would say, my visit was very important. So I had the honor to go out with the dean for a dinner, which we had quite good food. And
not it wasn't like a date or anything.
No.
To make it very clear. All right, I'm not
a
trying
few
to move
more.
in here.
It was a few more. We went out, and it was a really exciting dinner, and just being able to speak to you, and then over the entire weekend. First of all, by the way, you guys paid for my flight, put me up in a nice hotel. I got to tag my mom along. She stayed in the hotel, and just being able to kind of meet the dean of admission, meet some of the professors was a really humanizing experience. And I think that's something you don't get with many other law admissions or law school. I got accepted to quite a few law schools, and I didn't speak to anyone anywhere. Didn't receive calls from most of them. It was really just kind of felt like just paperwork. And the option when I got invited to fly down here. And at that point, I really wasn't as committed as you might want me to be.
Okay.
But coming down here, meeting Dean Mandernock, meeting the people that I've been working with, the people that run the law school, it really kind of felt like a family almost. So it's a much smaller law school than many others might be. We have a class of 230, which is one of our larger classes. So you can really, be yourself, meet a lot more people, and it kind of feels more homey than a lot of other quite large and those type of law schools.
Yeah. Yael, was there anything for you that stood out?
Yeah, well, we mentioned before the debt that comes with law school. And Josh and I both knew we wanted to go to big law, so it was important for us to find a law school that would help facilitate that. And we did a lot of research on UF, and we saw that they do have a lot of big law placement. I think our 1L class this year has already had a huge amount of big law placement. And we actually specifically wanted to go to a law school that would also have the option to do big law in New York.
Okay.
And we knew that UF did have that option. They actually have a club that Josh and I are both in called Gators Gone Global. And that is exactly what it sounds like. They help start conversations and connect you with attorneys, or whether it's just even telling you about deadlines in firms that are outside of Florida. And that was helpful. I mean, we ultimately decided to stay in Florida and go to South Florida, but that was a big decision maker for us. And the major point was just the low debt and being in a huge top law school while still having low debt in New York. The law schools for...
It's not possible.
Yeah. For like a lot lower ranked schools, like in the hundreds, for example, is still $70,000 a year.
Yeah.
And that's just so not the case here. So...
Yeah. We certainly are proud of what we think of as the value proposition or the return on your investment, right? That those things create opportunities and choice and give you freedom. Certainly freedom when you're starting out, but hopefully freedom along the way to decide, hey, maybe big law is not for me and I can make a change. A lot of people get locked into a particular career path for an amount of time paying off debt. Now, you're still just finishing your first year of law school, and it's a crazy thing. You already have your job for your 2L summer, right? Both of you, as well as opportunities this summer. Tell me a little bit about what you're going to be doing.
So this summer, I'm working for Judge Levinson in the 17th Judicial Circuit.
Where is that?
So that's in Fort Lauderdale. I'm very excited for that. And then next summer, I'm going to be working for Greenberg Traurig, and I'm going to be joining their corporate group.
And you'll be in Fort Lauderdale for that?
Yeah, also Fort Lauderdale.
Okay. And Josh?
And I will be working this summer for Judge Scott Grossman, who's the chief judge for the bankruptcy court for the Southern District of Florida. Luckily, 3-minute drive from Yael in Fort Lauderdale.
Excellent.
He's the chief judge for the Fort Lauderdale court. And in the future, I'll be working at Yael, hopefully in the future as well. I'll be at Yael Gatchel in Miami, and I'll be an associate for the restructuring team.
Great. Which is a Yael is probably one of the top bankruptcy firms in the country. So that's really awesome. Now, notably, right, those are both opportunities in South Florida. And you mentioned earlier that you had maybe thought about going back to New York when you started. And we get this a lot where students are like, so many people stay in Florida. And I'm always like, I talk until I'm blue in the face about how, people come here and then they kind of fall in love. It's got great weather, low cost of living, no state income tax, lots of great legal opportunities. I think people don't always believe me when I say that. What was your experience? Could you have gone back to New York if you wanted to?
Well, too big law salaries. You don't want to be paying New York taxes instead of Florida taxes.
Fair enough. See, very practical. This is what I love about you guys. You're super practical. You're the ones we're always targeting, right? You care about the return on your investment and the opportunities that come with that. Okay, so you were like, maybe not the New York weather and income tax.
Yeah, we both have a lot of family that lives in New York. Like our immediate family all lives in New York. So that was our main pull to New York.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, once we came here and we have the nice weather and like Josh said, our taxes will be a lot less. And all of that just made our decision. The New York firms came to UF for the UF Professional Development Conference. And we just really liked the attorneys that came. Really saw us working there, and we ended up only applying to Florida opportunities.
As a New Yorker, your dream vacation every single winter is Florida.
Right.
So when we were kind of thinking about, when you're going the big law route, it's going to be a lot of hours. So when you have that 1 hour to relax, isn't it good to just be 10 minutes from the beach? So
I mean, that's hard to beat, right? This is the thing that I think a lot of students find is that Florida is a really great place to live. And so if you're able to, make that big law money, have a lower cost of living, be right in a vacation spot, it's pretty compelling. I'm glad you guys have already found your future homes, at least as you're beginning your law career. Tell me something that you've really enjoyed about UF. Anything that surprised you? Anything? I mean, we've talked some about nature and alligators. I hope that the community has felt as warm as you thought it was in the beginning. But tell me something that maybe we haven't talked about that stands out to you about UF.
Well, I would say the classes. I thought that my first semester of law school was going to be kind of terrible, like everybody tells you it's going to be. I mean, how many people have told us that, it's going to be horrible, like, you're going to work so hard. And of course, we do work so hard. But when you just have such great professors and great classmates, it really just makes the experience so much better. I loved my classes last semester. I went to each class really looking forward to it this semester too, but specifically to have that in my first semester, wanting to learn from the professors, understanding the material that I was learning because they were teaching it so well, that was amazing. Everybody that asked me how my semester was going, I was able to be amazing. And everybody was so surprised.
Good.
I'd say adding on that, a sense of community. It's a smaller law school. You know your friends. I never thought it would be like this. Every other night there's a section party and everyone's going and meeting somewhere and bringing a few baked goods, and everyone really likes each other. I don't know if this is just a older fairy tale about law school where I've heard stories. My uncle went to Fordham a bunch of years ago, and he's like, people would rip books, rip pages out of the library, and I'm in classes and we're ranked against each other, and you miss a class, you need clarification. Everyone is just there to help you, not even thinking about it for sure.
Yeah.
So that was quite surprising to me.
Yeah, I think there might still be some law schools out there that operate a little more like, so The Paper Chase was the classic example. I don't know if people watch that movie anymore, although it's slightly terrifying for law school, where you had to like stand up in the classroom and answer questions and had a mean Socratic teacher. And I don't think that's the way most law schools operate now, but I certainly agree with you that our students are much more collaborative than the curve would suggest, right? I think there's a sense that just because people are on a curve or there's rank, that somehow that means we're not also supportive of one another, right? Your success helps everyone, right? And I think there's a sense of shared commitment to doing our best collectively and individually. We talked a little before that the Jewish community here has been important to you guys in different ways. Talk some about that for us.
So from New York, where there's quite large communities, we both grew up in a separate, but both grew up in Jewish communities. Going to Gainesville, I didn't think there would be this strong Jewish community. And me and my mom, we came down here to kind of just check that out. That was important to me. It's something that was always part of my way of life. And I just wanted to make sure it was here. And I was quite shocked. For example, we went to Chabad on a Friday night, and there was like 450 students. I met some law students. This was when I was checking out the school originally. And I was shocked. You have the Jewish Law Society, and then there was just so much more opportunities that I ever imagined. Every holiday we go to Chabad, we get to celebrate with them. So there's more opportunities than I could have ever imagined, which was very important to us.
Yeah, UF has the largest Jewish student population in the country, and I think that it's a vibrant part of student life here on campus, and not everyone realizes that until you experience it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then I thought maybe it would just be in the undergrad because I know you get a lot of the South Florida market. Sure. But no, I was really surprised the law school as well. And it's just very important to us. It's such an amazing community here.
Glad to hear that. Whenever I see students or meet with students, I often also ask for one thing that you would do if you were dean for a day to change the law school. I didn't give you this as a heads up, and this feels very vulnerable now that we're being recorded, but I also love to find ways to improve the school. And we've gotten some great ideas from having these conversations with students over time. If you were dean for a day and you had a magic wand, what one thing would you fix? And I usually get parking.
Oh, that was my first one.
Were you going to go parking?
I was going to go parking, but let's see. Do you have any?
So mine is just on a personal note.
Sure.
Because I'm an out-of-state student. So I pay a different tuition than in-state students. So, I mean, for me, it would be more just bridging that a little, like making it a little closer to each other, even though compared to other law schools, I'm paying less than half than that. Like, I shouldn't really be complaining, but
I get it.
If I was dean for the day,
you would. I mean, hey, that's exactly. It's dean for the day. You can wish for anything, right? Unfortunately, I don't set tuition, so this is also one of the lessons of being dean for the day is that you don't have control over very much.
I don't think I'm gonna get mine either, but I would love a gym just for the law students.
All right,
because you have they're quite packed, the other gyms.
Okay,
and yeah, so that's also a personal little.
I did get a request not too long ago. This might have been from you, Josh, that someone wanted a pull-up bar in the library.
That was not from me, but I'd sign off on that.
Oh, okay. And I did turn that one down. I thought, the library is for studying, although I did like the idea of, students doing pull-ups along with shouting out, I don't know, the rule against perpetuities. I thought that sort of embodied something that was, I don't know, we call this serious about law. We also don't want to take ourselves too seriously. So I don't know, something about doing both at the same time seemed fun. We are getting hammocks, which was a request I got that at some point we'll have hammocks. So not a little more relaxation than you want. But let me think about that. Are you guys runners at all? Have you joined the run? We have a running club that meets here regularly that does running from the law. At least that's what they used to be called. Have they not been working this year?
Well, I know that there are some run clubs. We happen to not be part of any, but we do run. It's just our last choice of exercise.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on the running, but the last choice there. Do you go to any sporting events? Or are you at least going to be watching the basketball stuff?
So that was a big thing for me. I went to Baruch. I think we're D3. I'm not exactly even sure.
So you obviously paid close attention there.
So coming to Gainesville, becoming a Gator was super exciting. As a kid, we don't really have any big New York colleges. We have Syracuse, but that's not near where I was from. So I was always able to be a winner picker. So I'm not going to quote some of the teams I may have rooted for. Maybe you shouldn't quote any of the teams you may have rooted for in the past.
Fair enough.
But getting like a real authentic, I'm very proud to be a Gator now. Our parents they wear Gator merch all day.
I love it. I should point out, because you can't see it, they are both wearing Gator merch at the moment too. So
it wasn't planned.
True to the advertisement there.
So we went to a basketball game.
Excellent.
So
wasn't it fun?
It was
so fun.
Yeah.
And we beat Alabama, so that was even better.
Awesome. I went to the game where we beat Arkansas, which was a lot of fun too. I was right behind the student section, and it was amazing. The energy was awesome. So
I've heard you have a box, right?
Oh, I don't have a box. That makes it sound like I have a box. I do not have a box. The law school does not have a box. For football games, the university has a box, and we get to go there. But it's not as much fun in the box. You really want to be out among the people.
In the swamp, yeah.
Yeah, in the swamp, right? Feel the energy. Have the lights go down, and Tom Petty come out with "I Won't Back Down," right? Like that's the moment that you really feel like a Gator.
So we didn't get last year. We thought we'd come in and take law school really seriously right away, which we did. So we didn't get football tickets last year. But
next year you're thinking.
Not thinking. We're getting them. We're going to be the first ones in there.
Because you already got a job, right? So no. Which is not an advertisement that you should back off. But the 1L year is more intense. So you should absolutely make time to enjoy all that is fun about being in a top college town. So I'm glad to hear you're planning on that. Plus, let's fingers crossed for a repeat on the national championship basketball team. So I'm contemplating, I shouldn't say it here, but we're contemplating something fun should we make it far enough in the tournament, which fingers crossed. I feel like they're certainly hitting their stride at the right moment in the season.
I think we're going to be a number 1 seed. So.
I think so too. Knock on wood. We're taping this right before the SEC tournament starts, or at least it started today. So go Gators, right?
Yes,
go Gators. Well, thank you, Josh and Yael. We really appreciate you guys making time to talk with us amidst the studies and the gym going and all of that. We're really glad to have you part of our community.
We're going to go to the gym right now, so thank you.
Excellent. All right. We should wrap it up. Thanks, guys.
It was great talking to you. Thank you so much.
Of course.